All
Hey,
right.
what's up, guys? What's going on, man? Welcome to Homecoming, the HBCU podcast. Once again, guys, you can always find us at YouTube, and all podcasts are available: Apple, Google, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. No, a lot of y'all like
Ooh,
that.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
definitely, man, come and join us. And we just got on TikTok, so follow us on TikTok, Instagram.
That's what's up. Okay.
So yeah,
TikTok. That's what's up.
yeah,
I don't have TikTok on my phone. Gen
I don't go
Zers,
into it.
don't hurt me. I don't have TikTok on my phone, but
I
I
only go.
understand the importance, man. Things go viral on TikTok
Yeah,
quite easily. It's
yeah.
funny, my little nephew, he's actually doing quite well on TikTok. I don't
Um,
understand 95% of the videos that he posts, but people his age, they love it. So if they like it, I
for
love
real,
it. Mhm.
my nephew's on Earl's on
Yeah.
TikTok a lot.
It's
I am
past our generation. Just
not.
we were around when Facebook was
Mhm,
first introduced and you had to have an EDU,
mhm.
email address for you to
Yep,
actually
you-
use Facebook. So
yep.
that's where
Had
we
to be
are.
enrolled. Yep,
That that means
the
TikTok
MySpace
is
era.
not it wasn't made for us. We can still enjoy it, but it was not made for us. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Like I
Yeah,
prefer to have a longer attention span. I feel like TikTok, like it decreases and diminishes your attention span. You're just yeah,
I can't do it.
just going through videos.
I
I
can't
can't
do it.
do it. I can't do it.
IG is
It's too
enough.
much.
But I
Mhm.
do. We do post on there, guys.
Yeah.
I
We do
can't.
posts. So if you're on TikTok, if that is your platform of choice, you will find us there
Yes.
as well. So
Yeah.
welcome to the second episode of the season.
Yeah.
Very excited. This was an amazing week of college sports. I personally watched Howard University lose for the seventh time in a row to
Yeah.
Hampton
Mm.
University. It was crazy because we were up. So I thought we were
Yeah.
stuck. And then Hampton turned it around and they beat
Kind
us.
of
And I
like a
was
big
devastated.
rivalry. That was
It
a
is a huge rivalry. So I thought we were gonna snap the six game losing streak,
mhm.
and then we became typical and we lost. It's all good though. It was still a great game. And what I took away from that
Mhm.
was I made sure I got up and watched that game.
Yeah.
I'm alumni from Howard, and this is something we'll touch on in this episode, but it's imperative for alumni and current students to really show their support
Yep.
and make sure you can watch, every game that's being broadcast and televised that helps with viewership.
Yep.
So,
And I will be going to Bowie's home game. Even
woo
though
woo.
we're on a hurricane watch, I'm going to get the
E.
best footage as possible. I'm going to go pick up
Okay.
one of my good friends, Jamal, right after this. We're going to go to the game. So it's going to be
That
fun.
sounds like a great time.
It's going to,
But
it's going to be fun.
I am scared. I'm a scaredy pants when it comes to hurricane season and things like that.
Yeah.
I do not like them. And I'm from Houston. So we
Yeah.
used to have drills in our classroom of
Yes.
how to evacuate, walk in a single file in the hallway, all
Mhm.
that. And to this day, as an adult, hate hurricanes. It gives me anxiety. Winds are too strong, water coming out of nowhere. I don't understand it. And speaking of hurricane season, you saw what
Oh,
happened at Clark Atlanta, right? That
yeah.
campus, crazy.
I saw
Flash
on
flood.
IG. The flooding was out of control, man.
It was outrageous. And then that student, I know that video circulated. I'm sure everybody's seen it. She had fractures to her leg. She was stuck. The water was just gushing in. And, anybody who knows about water pressure and flooding, it's damn near impossible to get doors
You,
open and closed at a certain point. Like,
you can't. You
um,
just got to try to do your best to scoop the water out. You know.
and it was at a level where it was so high. You saw how many students it took. It was
Yes.
like two of the girls like screaming, "Help, help!" And the water pressure in the door, her leg was
I
stuck.
closed the door. I was like, "Yo!"
That was something out of a movie.
And, and the crazy thing is, I dealt with flooding at my parents' house, and it sucks
It
because it ruins a lot of things.
ruins
Water ruins a
everything.
lot
It ruins.
of things, guys.
Yep. If you don't dry it properly, you're dealing with mold now, and
If you have
going
any photos, they're gone.
that's done. And the thing is, you have to think of the mindset of these college students. So now we're adults and we kind of brace ourselves for a different type of natural events and occurrences that may happen, which is on the rise due to quote unquote global warming. I don't know what's going on, but as a college student, I'm in college. I'm not thinking about that. I'm not
Yeah,
thinking about that. I'm just
and
thinking about passing my classes.
they said 24 students were displaced.
Yeah, yeah. And when I what I was reading on just like Atlanta, and because it wasn't just the campuses that got hit
Yeah,
by the floods, it was other parts of the actual city of Atlanta. So a lot of residents were complaining about the infrastructure. Same thing that happened in Houston.
there we
We were
go.
building, and then
Mhm.
we got hit with Harvey. And because you took away so much of the natural landscape where trees and grass and things of that nature would naturally absorb a lot of that rainwater and filter it to the proper places. Everything cement, you built up everything, which is great for the economy. But when flash flooding and massive, torrential rain comes down, where does that water go? And now you have a situation that those
Mm.
students and other citizens of Atlanta they faced. It was
Which
so much rain in such a short amount of time. We had nowhere to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the funny thing is, we used to live in DC, right? We used
Mm-hmm.
to live by Anacostia.
Yeah.
DC just finished a project where they built underground flooding tunnels so Anacostia water
Interesting.
doesn't rise, because
Huh.
sometimes it would rain and I'll be like
Right.
going to work. I'd be like, I can't go that way because
Nope.
the water would be all on the walk, the where you drive and the walking path, all that's covered with water.
And
And
it's dangerous. People lose their lives trying to get to work, and you
mhm,
don't know the levels of the water in
car gets stuck.
Houston. Yeah, your car would get stuck in Houston. There are certain places, especially highways and like
Mhm.
bypasses, where they'll have a meter stick or measuring stick that's up to let you know how much water is there. Because sometimes when you're driving, you can't tell
Yeah.
how deep the water is, and then by the
Mm-mm.
time you get in there, then you're screwed and
Screwed.
possibly dead.
Yep.
Like there's been stories people trying to get to work and they end up dying because of flooding. So it's not a game, it's not a
Flooding,
joke. Yep.
man. And then it
Water will take
happened
you away.
in flooding, and it sucks because flooding it can be the rain, and then if you have local rivers or creeks, the water rises, and it just affects everything. And then you know, it's I would be irritated if my dorm got flooded. I'd
I'd
be
be pissed. But
like,
now this is going to be a new issue that not only the
yeah.
city's going to have to figure out, but the schools in that area, especially the HBCU schools in that area, they're going to have to now think of a game plan, because that's not a one off. Not saying that,
Mm-mm.
it's going to happen frequently. I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist, but I do know that we've seen the hottest summer of our lives and there was no let up. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. So now there's
Yeah.
going to be an added initiative, some type of a game plan for
Hmm.
these universities for situations like this. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah,
Is it?
because
I
Clark
think that.
Atlanta is
Yeah.
like between Spelman and Morris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
uh
Yeah. So
and
I don't know. You might not have basement housing anymore. I
yeah,
can't call it,
yeah.
but something's
What
going to
else?
have to change.
Morehouse. So it's Morehouse,
Morehouse.
Clark
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta, Spelman, and Morris
Spelman.
Brown
Yep.
are all together. So if this was, I mean, this could be an issue where it could affect the other campuses as well, man. Which
They said there was some flooding on the other campuses, but not
not as
as
bad.
bad as that situation with those students. So,
Yeah,
but
man.
I mean, I saw pictures of cars just damn near getting taken away, just dirty brown rainwater. Ugh, you don't know what's in that water.
You don't know what is in that
Mm.
water.
I automatically think of shit like
Yeah,
animal feces
animals. You don't know.
and crocodiles, which is
Yes.
not logical, but that's where my
No.
mind goes.
Or alligators, right?
Yeah,
Um,
alligators,
and
exactly.
snakes, because
Ugh.
when if you're in Texas, you already know, man. So like, and I think, and it's so funny because it's September and
Mm-hmm.
we on a hurricane watch, and normally we're not. The only reason I know about hurricanes is because I have family in Florida, so
Yeah.
they're because they have a season, and it's so funny when I say it. People look at me crazy up here, but like around August, it'll be like, I'll be like, all right, it's monsoon season. They're like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
It means it starts raining and
It
hurricane
starts
season
raining
is
crazy.
right.
Yep.
Uh,
Right after
I'm
that.
talking
Yep.
about raindrops that are so big it hurts your body. Like,
Blow,
what is
blow,
this?
like grenades, mini grenades coming off. Just one in your eye, and that's it. You're blind. No,
We don't.
it's crazy.
But I came up. I say that people are like, you're crazy. What's that? I'm like, oh,
Mm-mm.
y'all okay? Y'all
They
don't
must not
in the
know.
south. Yeah, we rarely get big raindrops up here, but down south, yeah. People like, man, I'm
It's
not
wild.
going outside.
Mm-mm.
The rain
Mm-mm.
hurts my body. Raindrops are huge. But yeah, I hope everything is good. I heard they have an emergency fund, so
Yeah, and they were taking donations too.
hopefully they can get that rectified. They have a pretty good alumni down there, so I just hope they. It's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to rectify the issue, right?
Yeah.
Because
One way would be to get the funding that a lot of these campuses deserve just on a federal and just government level. Just
yeah,
I don't know, just the
yeah,
schools that qualify for the additional funding. I know Biden, he came out and promised a certain amount of funds to
hmm
HBCUs during his administration. Trump did it during his administration as
hmm
well. So it takes time. I know, like once
hmm
funding is enacted in school, for time for schools to get the funds, and then times for them to utilize that for
yeah.
buildings to get built, for things to happen. But so I'm patiently waiting
It
for
does
that.
take time, which is
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I know that they love printing money, so I don't know the
That I
process,
do know. Yeah,
how long it takes to get, but
just get
some
get them the
some
money, get the construction going. You
some
figure.
places get money quicker than others. That's all I got.
Oh, for sure. You know what's interesting? I was reading that the U.S. Secretary of like Department of Education, they were
Mhm.
urging governors to, hey, can you please give the HBCU schools the money that they were supposed to get for these land grants? We
I
talked about
heard
this
that. I
before.
read the article about that.
So they enacted a law like in the early 1900s to try to like bridge the financial disparity from public institutions that qualified for the land grants, but
Hmm.
the language was so ambiguous that governors and states were able to find a way around that and still fund predominantly white institutions with more money than they were giving HBCUs.
Mm.
So
And
I that's problematic. That's
it's very
problematic.
problematic. And the Secretary of Education was like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Can you fund the money that we gave them, or is it going in
That's
your
very
pocket?
sad
Is it
that
going
they
in
that
people's pockets?"
it's just be I feel like it's being funneled to the predominantly white institutions.
Yeah.
I think they're just getting more of it, and it's not being, evenly divided amongst all the schools that qualify. And it's very sad that the US Secretary of Education has to come out and urge and employ the governors of different states to do it. Just do it because it's the right thing to do it. Do it because it's your job. Do it because that's what serves all the constituents in your state. Just do it. Do the
Just,
right thing.
just do it because it's the right thing to do.
It's what you should have been doing from the
Very
jump. Like,
simple.
period. There nobody needs to beg and plead and urge you to do something that is your job.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a different take on
I
politicians.
don't know.
That we'll save that for another show, guys, because that is
Yeah, because we could go
we
off
can
on
talk
that.
for 24
But
hours straight
but
live
do you
about
see
that.
there is just a correlation or a pattern
Hmm.
with just the underfunding? And when we talk about bridging the gap for, HBCU schools to
Hmm.
PWI powerhouses, when we're talking about sports and football,
Yeah,
maybe getting some of that money because we're underfunded would help
a
with
lot.
building better facilities,
Hmm.
you know, building things that would attract these students to feel
Hmm.
like they are not missing out or
Creating
not, I
different
guess,
programs.
yeah, creating different
Creating
programs, and they're
certain.
not accepting a lesser campus
Yeah.
because that goes into it. Imagine you go to Big 10 or Big 12 school, and
Mhm.
they're trying to serenade you. This is our program. Come look at our campus. Look at all
Mhm.
this great stuff that we have. Like, look at all the warming massage chairs that we have for you, the whirlpools and the
Mhm.
coaches. And then you go to a HBCU school, and they have a quarter, if not a tenth of that budget. Their
Yep.
facilities not as nice. So now you're like, ooh, can I go here and still get? It's not going to be the same
It's
experience.
not going
It's
to be the
not.
same experience.
Even though you want to be around Black people, because that in and of itself is a great feeling. That experience is beyond.
Unmatched. It's unmatched.
It's unmatched.
It's
It
un-
is, but it's like, do I have to choose just being able to experience that culture of being with other Black people, or am I going to choose the better facility, better resources, and more visibility? It's like
Especially,
you can't have it all.
can't have it all, especially if you're trying to go to the NFL, NBA, or Major League.
Yeah,
If you're unfortunately, you're going to go to Alabama, or
right.
you might go to Colorado.
You might go to Colorado, because
Ah,
what Deion Sanders is doing there. Did you watch the game? Did you watch
yes.
the game?
So,
You
oh
you
my
you were
goodness,
part of the 9.3 million people that are watching that game. Isn't
yes.
that
So
crazy?
this is what happened, right? I was up late anyway. I'm up late. I don't know. I'm weird. Like I'm a morning person, but I stay up late. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So you get no sleep. Okay.
I don't know. I've been getting sleep like that. So whatever. um
Sleepless for suckers,
yeah.
so they say.
I'll sleep when I'm comfortable. How about that?
Hmm.
Until then, I got work to do. So I was up and I was watching. I think I was watching because I was watching the game and I was like, man, they losing. This is blowing me. I was like, this is blowing me. And then I was like, all right. And then I was watching Wheel of Time, right? It's this. Listen,
I
guys,
know.
I like
You like fantasy, and
stuff
yeah.
and Lord of the Rings, whatever. Anyway, so I was watching that, and then I was like, wait a minute. And my friend, my man Matt, texted me because he was like, James. He always jokes because he goes to bed at like 10 p.m. I'm like, man, you still up? But man, I can't make it. Right? So he,
That's real.
he's like, I can't make it after 10:30. So he texted me like, yo, you watching
That
the
sounds like
game?
me.
I was like, wait a minute. Click. Oh, snap, they're making a comeback. And then I was locked in. So I stayed up to 2:30 in the morning too. Like I was
Hmm.
when you're about to like, I'm watching the Wheel of Time, and my eyes are getting like this. So I was like, all right, man,
Yep.
it's time to
It's
go.
time to
I looked at
time
my
to pack it
text.
up.
I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then I was up and I actually
Man.
saw the comeback, and then I saw that
Double overtime.
98-yard drive.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I was like, yo, he is
It could have been written
he's
any
like
better.
he's like that.
I
Shador is
mean,
like that.
what
He's like that.
he is, and
Like that.
and it's so crazy because he signed a deal with Tom Brady's brand, and they're making comparisons. It's like, man, this guy, his performance was Tom Brady-esque.
That's his
And
mentor.
he just, but the thing is, you listen to how Deion
Mm-hmm.
Sanders speaks about his son, and he's just like, oh, I already knew that this is what he was capable of. I knew that he could rise up to these moments. Like, this is what fuels him.
Mm-hmm.
And we always say, man, pressure busts pipes, but
Yep.
they make diamonds. And
Mm-hmm.
he's a person you can tell that can handle the pressure.
Yeah,
And
he
not
was.
saying in every crunch time moment you're gonna come
Mm-hmm.
out with the dub, but just know he's able to step up and he doesn't shy away from those moments. And he has superior confidence in himself, his
Mm-hmm.
abilities, his coaching staff, and his teammates. So
He,
that's unstoppable, man. That's
man,
sensational.
he so the funny thing is Deion Sanders did something different. When they got the ball, they usually let the defense go out first.
Mm-hmm.
And his son had a, I think, 60-yard pick six. And his son was like, Dad, we going out first? He said, I'm putting Shador out there. Y'all are giving up all these points.
Right.
We can't rely on y'all.
He's so honest. He's so honest. And it's refreshing. He kept it
We
real.
can't be real. It's like,
Who
go ahead.
likes losing? Yeah,
No, we'll
like
put it in Shador hands, man. And he went out
he
there
got
and got it.
time. He doesn't have time.
No, that's-
So what that just highlighted again, the star power of Deion Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was at 11.3 million at its peak as far as viewership is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Like the third or fifth most watched late night college football game
Mm-hmm.
of all time. Like you said, you were fighting sleep. You were like, man, I can't even watch it. The game ended at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
And then at 2:30.
You lucky is on a Saturday, Sunday. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, it was 2:30. It was 2:30 in the morning.
I got stuff to do. You know, people got to get ready for church, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was one of those games where I'm looking, they're interviewing Offset. You got Dwayne Johnson at the game. I mean, he's bringing out stars.
Lil Wayne concert.
Look, like what's happening right now,
and
right?
then I don't even know if people understood this. A 5-star recruit quarterback was visiting, and a 5-star recruit tackle was visiting. Can you imagine like meeting Lil Wayne when you're visiting a college?
It's amazing.
He might have locked them in. He might have locked them in.
Just from that. Or even if you didn't meet him, you go to the game and you feel the electricity in that stadium. They were over capacity.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that just, first of all, Colorado home games, all of them are officially sold out.
Yep.
They're sold out. And now just the resale market for these tickets have pushed these games to the point where they are now more expensive than the majority of NFL games right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Nosebleed tickets. People are getting caught up on fake tickets because they're getting scammed. I see tickets for $1,000, $900 for a college football game.
College? It's free for students.
For students, or not free, but you get that college price. It's heavily discounted. So it's either you're in there or you're probably trying to sell your ticket. That's what I
usually go when I was on campus. I used to go to every game: volleyball, basketball, football.
Yeah, and I didn't.
Anytime I used to be.
I went to the basketball
games anymore, man. I used to be blazing like, the women and the men play tonight. Come on, let's go catch the game.
Let's just go catch something.
Let's
so
catch the game.
They're right now, Colorado. If you're a recruit going there, there's no question. I mean, I'm not going to go to Alabama. I want to play for this team as long as Deion Sanders, because I think it would take Deion staying there. I believe for it to continue to have that star-like draw where everybody's just entranced and want to watch every game to see what this team's going to do. But for me, that's a no-brainer. Yes, I'm going here. What Deion Sanders has done, even, we've talked about the transfer portal and how many students left the Colorado football program, how many students Deion was able to recruit, not only from just Jackson State, but you were saying just top recruits nationwide to come play for Colorado. But also, more importantly, look at all the coaches he was able, like his coaching staff is elite.
Speaking of his coaching staff, I was watching the interview with Warren Sapp and Rich Eisen, and Warren Sapp was like, "I'll be there next year." I was like, "Oh."
So it's more than Deion in the sense of he knows the pressures of what he's he's claiming that he will be able to do with this program, what he's done with another football program, and what we're seeing him do already with Colorado. But make no mistake about it, he's a very smart guy. He's like, I know it's not going to be just me. I have to have talent around me. And I think that's the mindset of somebody who has played on a high level, who's used to playing on a high level. They know the recipe for success. They know it's not just them. They know it's all the team around you. It's the resources around you. It's the key players, everything that has to line up. And he's shown that he knows what it takes. And he's like, y'all ain't about to, catch me slipping. I know what's required, and I know how to motivate my team and get them everything they need and available to make sure that they're winners, because he does not like losing.
No. And and also shout out to Deion. I was watching Market Mondays. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure in Dunlap. And Rashad.
In Troy.
And Troy. They were talking about his Blenders glasses. Nobody even heard of Blenders. And the way Deion can market is crazy. He gives it to
it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, Faith, My wife doesn't watch college football. She's watching the game today, and she's like, "Dan, I want some glasses. They're sold out till December."
Good luck.
I was like, "All
Good
right."
luck.
I was
Yeah.
like, "I'll probably get her for Christmas, but I'm gonna get her."
Star power, man.
Yeah,
It's he's just different.
he's different, man.
Deion's different, but he was different in his career as
Mhm.
well, and he knew.
Yeah,
So a lot of people, I know you watch, and we'll get to the 60
yeah,
Minutes interview, but I know you also watched the Bleacher Report interview as
of
well,
course,
and where
yeah.
he gave the interviewer her own shade of blended
Mhm.
glasses. But it made me realize that Deion's just a special force.
Yeah.
Deion is he's very unique. You could tell by the way he talks.
Mhm.
He was made for this. Not every star player can talk how he does,
Mm.
have exude the confidence that he does, and be completely unapologetic about it. It makes people uncomfortable. I know
Yeah.
how he talks and how he moves can be off-putting or make people uncomfortable, but I don't
Mhm.
think it's an intentional thing
No.
that he's doing. That this is just who Deion Sanders always has been.
Yeah.
Like, look at his career. He's always been like this.
Yeah. And I don't think people. I think people look at Dion. And I was listening to, was it Joe Klatt? Joe Klatt. Colin Cowherd said this. He was talking to Joe Klatt. Joe Klatt was a quarterback at Colorado. He was like, "Man, I sat
Mm-hmm.
with Dion," and he actually was one of the first ones. I was too. Yes, when I went to Colorado, I was like, "He's gonna turn that joint around immediately." Craig was like, "Nah." I was like, "Nah, he's gonna get 7, 8 wins." I'm telling you, I watched him at
Yeah.
Jackson State. You know, I
Yep.
was like, he's a good coach, and he runs his program like Nick Saban. Like everybody think he's all like I'm prime time, and he runs a strict program,
Very.
very strict. Everybody's on uniform. Everybody uniform look the same. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, matter of fact, he said that in the interview. He said, I want everybody to be the same because if you get to the next level, that's what they're going to require you to be a professional.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So speaking of the interview, what what did you think about the 60-minute interview?
So the first
Thoughts on
listen, no, I watched it, and the reason why I watched it was because of the backlash that
that?
he received from a couple of coaches from Jackson State University. They did not like, and other people chimed in from that community, didn't really like the light that was shown or how Jackson was perceived. Because there was a small clip that I will say there was a small clip where the interviewers, was speaking on the difference in environment that
Mm-hmm.
Deion, hey, you're coming from Jackson, Mississippi, then you're moving all the way to Boulder, Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally felt that it was a distasteful representation of Jackson, Mississippi. I understood what he was trying to do. Maybe it wasn't his intention, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go from, I mean, the most blighted house that you could find, and that was your, and it was such a short clip, JT. It was such a short clip, but that's your representation of Jackson, Mississippi. And then the next clip, you show people playing volleyball on the beach damn near. It was like something wow, it was just sunny and just glowy. And this is Boulder, Colorado.
Which
I
is not.
and listen, are they different? Like, economically, there are disparities. They're definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
Racial makeup, it's you go from
Definitely
80%
different.
African American
One.
community to a basically 80% white community
Mm-hmm.
that's known as a destination place for tourists who's looking for a scenic environment,
Mm-hmm.
hiking trails,
Mm-hmm.
and all
Mountain.
that great stuff. Mountains, very beautiful, very
It is.
picturesque, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I understand you wanting to highlight the differences because it is going to be a difference, like
Mm-hmm.
culturally, everything. It's a different environment that Deion Sanders is in,
Yeah.
but that's not what Jackson is known for.
Mm-mm.
They have actually a very rich history. So if you wanted to highlight the racial disparity there were
Mm-hmm.
other places I feel like they could have showed. It's a
Yeah.
very historical place. It's named after Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
The
Very
Civil War, they
historical.
have all these museums. So that wasn't the right, me personally, I don't think that was the right way. This wasn't a rags to riches story. That's when you
No,
show those houses. This ain't no rap music video where you
no.
showing dudes out on the corner in a very, rundown area because they trapping. This isn't where I know, just made me think like, damn, is this like a boxer
Hmm.
who's just fighting to get out of his situation and then
Hmm.
elevating himself to a greater platform? Like that's kind of what I got.
What was the backlash?
The backlash was just that the imagery.
Yeah,
It was very, but mind you, it was very small.
it was
There,
very
the
small. It was like a poorhouse,
and
right?
then
Rundown house, and then
bright, sunny, glowy Boulder, Colorado, with white people smiling and
yeah,
just having a great time.
yeah,
That's all it was
yeah,
for the entirety of the interview. Compared to that small clip, it was very minuscule, but it
yeah.
was still impactful, and I think it still
It's huge.
was poor. It was very poorly,
Yeah.
like portrayed. I don't know why they did that.
And I
I
didn't
don't.
like how the interviewer was like, "You just left Jackson State." He was like, "Wait a
Oh,
minute."
he tried it.
He said, "Wait, time out." See,
He
he
tried
didn't
it.
know. He didn't know. You have to know this. But Deion was there when he introduced the new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He was
TC
there.
Tyler, yeah.
The transition that he made was let's get this honest and straight. I don't People don't talk about this, but other coaches leave horribly
Mm-hmm.
programs
Right.
and don't come
Yeah.
back to take bigger jobs.
That's
Horrible.
not it's nothing new though, right? It was
Yeah,
almost like he was trying to vilify Deion Sanders for taking, a different position
yeah.
with more money, more resources.
He didn't do
And
what Bobby Petrino did to the Falcons. He didn't do that.
you get what I'm saying? So like stop trying to vilify him. He
Yeah.
made sure, and they got somebody that was under his coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
TC Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't understand how, but you see he tried to really try to trip up Deion, but see Deion's too smart. This guy has a
He
gift
said,
of
"No, no,
gab.
no, stop right
No,
there.
you're not gonna play me like that.
You're not gonna
That's
play."
not how it was.
No, no.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. 60
I,
Minutes. He tried it.
yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like it when you interview somebody. An interview is all about making somebody feel comfortable because the more a person is comfortable, the more they share with you.
Mm-hmm. I
When you
agree.
do an interview and it's not even because if you make somebody comfortable, you're able to ask the questions, the tough questions, and they're going to give you an honest answer. But when a person is uncomfortable, you're not going to get. It's a 13-minute interview, right?
Correct.
You wonder why.
But you could tell from that interview he had an agenda, and
Hmm.
it was to stir up some of that drama and the
Hmm.
controversy of how he left. Because initially, when
Hmm.
he did leave, the Dion did face some backlash
He
from
did.
the black community
Hmm.
and from people that went to
Hmm.
Jackson State University. They didn't like it.
Yeah.
But that
Some
time
of
has
them
passed.
like
We've
yeah.
gotten over that, and we realize, because we didn't. It's easy to have an initial reaction without
Hmm.
having all of the pieces from both sides to
Hmm.
understand. Okay, why did he move? Everybody's hanging off of that first 60-minute interview where
Hmm.
he's just talking about, hey, this was my calling.
Hmm.
God called me collect. I had to answer.
Hmm.
So people felt like he was meant to stay at Jackson State forever. It didn't happen like
It's
that.
not going to be at Colorado forever.
Yeah. It
It's
just
not.
didn't happen like that.
It's not.
And you shouldn't hold somebody, you know, hostage at a job if it's not working out.
No.
If it doesn't serve the purpose he originally thought that he could. And we
Hmm.
don't know all the ins and outs of what he had to go through at Jackson State and
Hmm.
what he tried to do and probably wasn't able to accomplish, or maybe, he felt like he could be more impactful at Colorado.
And
Period.
and
But the
and
interview was crazy.
I remember that backlash, and
Mhm.
then it came out that Deion put his own money to build the
Mhm.
facilities.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Those partnerships with American Airlines, they still have them.
Yeah.
They
He
still
still
have.
he still left a lot of impact with that school.
Oh, you know what? We're gonna have a coach from my coaching staff that actually went here.
Yeah.
you know. But
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. If he came to Bowie State and did the same way, I'd probably be
I'd be blown. Yeah,
yeah,
no doubt about it. You came to Howard because
yeah,
you're expecting this
I'd
to
be blown.
last. And let's talk about this, right? Because we talked
Mm-hmm,
about the numbers,
mm-hmm,
the viewership and games being sold out. Where the university already is
mm-hmm,
feeling just the economic impact of Deion Sanders and the
mm-hmm.
community as well. So there were numbers that were, revealed saying that anywhere of like 17 million was the economic impact from Deion Sanders,
Yeah,
coming to Colorado and just the popularity now of Colorado football
mm-hmm,
on the school and then just the surrounding
mm-hmm.
area. They said the Nebraska game brought in $17 million
Yep.
for Boulder, Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would be, kind of devastated if I was a business owner in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And for those 2 years that Deion was there, business is booming. I can't
Booming.
keep
You
my
got Wally
merchandise
and
on the
Wallow
shelf,
and Gilly eating there. You know what I'm
you
saying?
know? So yeah, so now I'm just like, damn,
Yeah.
it was like a roller coaster ride. You were down, all of a sudden your
Mm-hmm.
shit shut up. You're like, oh my God, business is great. Now you're planning for the future, thinking, okay, we're gonna have all these new customers for the foreseeable future. And then he leaves, and now your business is going to take a dive
Yeah.
because the allure was Deion Sanders, his son, the top picks he was able to recruit,
Mm-hmm.
and the viewership, so for that, I would probably be a little like, damn, I'd be pissed a little bit for
Yeah.
sure. But I
Yeah.
can't knock somebody for wanting to put themselves in a better position. Can never do that. You can't do, I mean, you shouldn't do that. You can do it, but you shouldn't.
You should not do that because at the end of the day, he poured in a lot, right? And you have, I mean, that's the ebbs and flows of having
Hmm.
a business. You're gonna be up, you're
Yep.
gonna be down. You gotta
Hopefully you saved. Yeah. Hope you
prepare when
better.
you're down. You got
Whew.
to, you got to,
Yeah.
because it's gonna everything is in a season. So
Hmm.
you're gonna be up one season, and then something's gonna happen, right? And you just got to make sure you prepare for that. But now, did you watch the other interview with
The
Taylor Rook?
the Bleacher Report interview.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
she has been okay. So if you don't know, guys, I've been following Taylor Rooks. Probably I first she did some NBA stuff. She started doing like sideline reporting. Then she's interviewing, and I was like, oh man, she's doing a thing, man. She actually
Hmm.
now, but she's known for making athletes say crazy things when they.
Yep. Yep. I saw a couple of clips. I saw a couple of
Taylor J was
clips.
like, yeah, I'm gonna have like three. But she said three by the time you're 28.
John
Yeah,
Morant, they were all speaking out the side of their neck
I
when they
do.
was talking. I was like, what's happening right
That's
now?
what John Morant was like. We ain't worried about that. It was her. I don't know.
Oh
Maybe they
my
looked into her eyes or
gosh.
something. I don't know.
Like y'all are promising this woman the moon. Like y'all are saying some wild shit. Like calm down, calm down.
She's got some athletes saying some crazy things. But
Oh
she's a
man.
beast, man. She interviews a lot of people. So I've been following her
Mm-hmm.
for a minute. I follow her on Instagram. I started following her in COVID because I was like, dang, she keeps interviewing these bomb athletes. I like to, because that's when I started getting to all the smoke and
Mm-hmm.
I am
Mm-hmm.
athlete and I was like, oh man, she's interviewing some bomb people. So I was like, man, I gotta like watch her. So I've seen her grow, and I was like, okay, this is she's good. So when she interviewed Deion, I was like, all right, that's cool. And in that interview, Deion he was more honest. Not more
Yeah.
honest. He's always honest, but he was more comfortable, man. She was
You can
getting more
tell.
out of him than a 60-minute interview.
And it wasn't like she didn't ask questions
Mm-hmm.
that people weren't, asking it themselves and wanting to know the answers for. I believe it was the way that she posed the questions. It
Mm-hmm.
was non-confrontational.
Yeah.
She kind of stated the obvious, like people are saying this about you. How do you feel
Mm-hmm.
about that? And that just shows like just the characteristics of a really great interviewer.
Yeah. She's a beast, and
Hmm.
she's only getting better. So yeah.
You know what I
Now she
realized?
does Thursday night prime time too,
She
sideline.
does. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She be working,
But
man.
what I realized about that interview,
Mm-hmm.
was because we talked about, hey, who else could do what Deion Sanders does? And when I was listening to him speak, I said, man, this guy has a way with words. Imagine being
Crazy,
in that locker room
crazy
with
word.
somebody like that. And he don't just like talk it, he walks it as well. I
Yeah.
saw a guy who was very spiritually in tuned and
Mm-hmm.
who was living a life of superior purpose and wanted
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that his athletes, they also live with purpose. They also live on a high level of just discipline, and
Mm-hmm.
more importantly, that all of his coaches, he's like, hey, all my coaches, they have to be great fathers. If you're not a good
Yep.
father, you can't coach for me. That
Mm-hmm.
was very powerful. So
Very.
there was a lot of life principles that he applied to coaching
Mm-hmm.
at Colorado as well, that I think sometimes we get so enamored with winning and, oh, I got to separate, my personal, goals and values from business. And he's like, no, certain things, it just shows your character, and you can't be on my football team or my program, because eventually that's going to leak out.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, if you're not a good father, you're not going to be a good leader to these young men, because that's what they need. Because he made a point. Not everybody's going to make it to the league, but there
Mm-hmm.
are certain characteristics that you need to have in order to be highly successful in the real world.
Yeah. And I,
Period.
and I love what he said, that the program he wants to implement, where he was like, right, I think right after that, he said, I want, because not everybody's going to make it to the league, only 1%, 2%.
And we all know this. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very difficult to make it to major league sports. You have to be very, 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 very,
Have to
very,
be the
very,
best.
very good.
Mm-hmm.
And average NBA players that play 10 years are phenomenally good. Basketball guys, even guys that play 5. I don't want to hear that you're better than them. You're not.
You'll never beat them.
You're not.
You're not going to beat them ever. Just stop. They look like that because they're on the court or field with
Yeah.
somebody who's just way better. That's why they look like bums to you average non-athletes that y'all
Yeah.
playing at LA Fitness, and y'all thinking
Yeah.
that, y'all can hang. Y'all can't hang. Just
You
just
can't hang.
stop.
So he said they must implement a program where there's a there's a certain GPA you have to have, and you're working for corporations while
Mm-hmm.
playing football. So interning. So then after you graduate, he goes, oh yeah, I coached him in Colorado. What's up, Governor? Like, oh, what's up, CEO? He was like, he wants to implement that. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's very vital, because a lot of kids aren't. Even though that's everybody's dream,
Yeah.
it's like the insane work ethic of Steph Curry or Dame Lillard or Jimmy Butler is LeBron is insane, guys. You have to be on a different level of mindset. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
the Mamba mentality, and the Mamba mentality isn't just. I don't think people understand what it is, because I'm a big Kobe fan. The Mamba mentality is whatever you're doing, apply and be your best at it, and work to the best your ability to do it. Come obsessed with it, and
Yeah.
become so good that they can't ignore you.
Period.
So
And
that's
right.
the, so I kind of
Right.
it's hard to do that. So, but I'm just glad that Deion is at Colorado, and now listen. I know I've flirted with this idea, but I know he's not going to the NFL. He's never going to coach in the NFL.
I I can see why you would say that. I
Yeah,
can see why you would
he
say
said it
that.
multiple times too. Because I think
Yeah.
he, number one is you don't
The
have
impact.
control. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have control. Like you can't. You can't. It's hard to tell a professional athlete, and he knows this. It's
Mm-hmm.
hard to coach a professional athlete that make more than you, that's a superstar, and they're. It's like you gotta. He's like, I don't feel like doing that. I'd rather get a a kid that's 18
Yeah.
and impact
That's
more
that's any
positive.
that's any coach though. That's any coach. Even my brother, he's a boxing
Oh yeah.
trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So, he can work with the pro, But by that pro level, you've already developed so many bad habits,
Mm-hmm.
not even just like physical habits of how you maybe you throw your jab or your defense, how you slip punches, but
Mm-hmm.
also mental habits.
Mm-hmm.
You have things that now those need to reverse your thought process and how you think. Same thing goes with football. Like, not to say you want to coach Pee Wee, but there's that perfect level of collegiate football where you
Yeah.
can still impact these players' lives. They're still going to be, listening to your every word, especially if you're somebody like Deion who went to a level that they are aspiring to be
Mm-hmm.
at. They're going to take and hold on to every word. They're going to
Yeah.
look at you as a role model and,
Mm-hmm.
base their standards of how they conduct themselves
Mm-hmm.
on what you're doing and what you're teaching them and what they're seeing from you. Like you said, once you get to that NFL level, uh, good luck. Good
Good.
luck. It's more of like, this is a job. Hey, you're a
Mm-hmm.
professional. You just need to show up or you get your ass cut. You need to be doing
Yep.
X, Y, and Z. It's
Mm-hmm.
different. And the way Dion speaks,
Mm-hmm.
how I mean, it's almost like he's one of the best public speakers. The way he speaks to these players, like you can
Mm-hmm.
tell, like they show up.
Yeah.
There was a reason why there were so many transfers coming in. I know he went into that locker room was just like, hey, this is what it is. And some of those dudes probably got shook like, ooh, I'm not going to be able to hang in this program. Get the hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? I got
Speaking of that, the 60 Minutes, I saw a clip where he interviewed students, three students. And he was like, what did
to.
y'all think when he said that? I can't believe he said that. And they were like, I mean, either he was like, my dad said, what you gonna do? You gonna eat or be eaten? He was like, so when Deion said that, I was just like, oh, I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna play my butt off. It's
That's it.
Deion Sanders. It's Deion
Listen,
Sanders. You have an opportunity to play for Deion
listen,
Sanders. Work your
listen,
butt off. He's only
listen.
going to make you better in life.
Right. I'm at the point now, and it's always this generational thing. People older than us are, oh, your generation soft. I'm as a millennial looking at Gen Zers like, man, you guys are getting soft. And it's because we have the participation trophy era where everybody wins. That's not real life. And I'm
No,
glad Dion,
you lose.
he highlighted that that's not how the real world works. As a
Mm-mm,
consumer, are you just going to buy something? Oh, yeah, they were nice. I'm just going to buy this and
mm-mm,
feel your product. No, you work hard for your money. You want to
mhm,
spend it on the best stuff
mhm.
possible that's going to, be better for you. So why
Yep.
now are you telling kids that it works like this? Why are you coddling these kids, especially with
Mm.
sports? It does not work like that. Period. Either you
And
sink or swim.
yes, and he didn't say this. Joe Klatt said this. Dion sat down with each student and walked them through and be like, okay, you should probably go here, you should probably go here. But that's not in the public, right? We just got the first
Mm-hmm.
video,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't see what happens in the details and behind the scenes because everybody thinks Deion said this in the interview as well. Everybody thinks like Deion, he is that this is a persona. Prime is a persona, but in
Mm-hmm.
actuality, he's such a nice person. He's a great teammate. He's Rich Eisen talks about that all the time. He's like, man, y'all don't even know how it is to work with Deion. He was like, Deion is such a nice person. He says hi to everybody in the building. He's such a nice person to talk to.
But if
At
that's not
Colorado,
highlighted,
it's not. It's not right
then
at
how
Colorado.
would you know?
It's this clip. He's like, hey, anybody disrespect a woman, you're off. You don't disrespect no women in here.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he carries it. You know what I'm saying? Like he has daughters. He's probably like no,
It's
like you're
unacceptable.
gonna respect everybody at a certain level. If I hear you disrespecting them, you're out. You're off the team.
As you should
You know.
be.
But that the stuff he does, yeah, of course. But I know that doesn't exist everywhere, right? So I think that people don't actually see the impact that he actually has. People
But it's
don't.
hard to see though. But that's hard to see unless the
Oh yeah.
stories come out. We're not in Colorado. We're not in that
Nope.
football program. We're not on the campus, and he's not going to talk about all these things.
Mm-mm.
He don't have time to. He has a program to run. And he has
Mm-hmm.
wins to get. So it is up to just us as people to not take everything at face value or just judge
Mm-hmm.
off of clickbait news or what's being reported by
Mm-hmm.
the mainstream. And that's just human nature, I think.
Yeah.
I automatically assume the best in people. Some people
Mm-hmm.
assume the worst in people. Some people are impartial. That's just
Yeah.
human nature. So not to
Yeah.
say, okay, well, we didn't know this, but from what I see face value, it doesn't seem like Deion Sanders is a bad guy at all. I
Yeah.
can only go off of, resume, his
Mm-hmm.
success on and off the field, how his sons,
Carry
act and
themselves.
carry themselves. So there was nothing negative there in my eyes from Deion Sanders. Not saying that he's perfect,
Mm-hmm.
because no human is, but I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a really, really great father and a great coach.
Mm-hmm. And I found out this. His son has a YouTube channel I subscribe. It's called Well Off Entertainment. So Deion Sanders Jr. He calls him Bucky, but if you really want to see what's going on and some of the speeches behind the scenes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
follow
recording
Well Off.
all that stuff. He's recording
Yeah,
all that
I, I,
stuff.
I was like, what is Well Off? And I looked, I was like, okay, I gotta subscribe this because I want to see some of these. Deion has a really good
Mm-hmm.
halftime speeches and pregame speeches and postgame speeches.
And being a great public speaker or a
Mhm.
motivational speaker, that takes talent.
Yes,
It's
not
not it's
everybody can
not
do
easy. It's not easy. Like
it. Mm-mm.
it's hard to speak in front of people. It's hard to speak in
It
front of a
is.
camera, even doing a podcast. That it gets difficult. You're listening to yourself like, why did I say this? What's going on? And now you're speaking in front of several
Mhm.
people, motivating them. That
Yeah,
is not easy. It's not for everybody. And he
it's,
has that as well.
it's not for
It's a mark of a
everybody.
good leadership, man. Mark of a
And
good leader.
yeah, it's not for everybody, and people think you can just do it, and you can, but with everything
Takes
in life,
practice,
yeah, everything in life, you're not going to be good at it.
especially not starting off.
Not starting off, like just like riding a bike, you're going to suck first.
Mm,
You
mm,
know,
mm. No, but
that's with everything you do.
he's definitely impacted that program
Hmm.
tremendously. And back to HBCUs and what he's done at Jackson State, like you said, there's still sponsorships in place because
Hmm.
of what he's done.
Hmm.
And the college school is going to still benefit from that. More importantly, I think, and I don't think it was just Deion. I think it was the George Floyd movement, where
Hmm.
once we saw that, and that was in 2020. There was a lot of things that happened during the pandemic
A
where
lot.
it ushered in a wave of students wanting
Hmm.
to now go to historically Black colleges and
Hmm.
universities, right? Like
Yeah.
that was great. So with that wave, you saw a lot more of sponsorships. You saw a lot of brands that normally would not reach out or try to partner up with the HBCU. We saw it
Hmm.
with Jordan and excuse me, Howard
Howard.
University.
Hmm.
But there were so many deals. There's countless deals. Tiffany and Company. There's so many brands now partnering with universities that it's staggering. And it's like, where have you guys been at? We talk about the Black buying power. It's always been there, and it's only going up.
It's
So
only going up.
this is a now these major brands are looking at it like an untapped market. Y'all have already
Hmm.
saturated the PWI market with all the top 25 schools, the SEC, the Big 10, Big 12, all that.
Hmm.
You've already that's solidified. Now they're looking at it like, oh my God, untapped market. I showed you that Nike collection that
Hmm.
that they had of HBCU schools sold out.
Yeah.
Every drop or release, Ralph Lauren, I think I forgot what college that they dropped their line. It might have
I
been
know
Morehouse or
LeBron has the
Spelman.
FAMU line.
Sold out. Yeah, LeBron, everything
Mhm.
sold out.
Yes, because
There's a market for
it's
it.
a market for it. And
You're gonna buy it.
shout so speaking of college students and money, I see that Howard University not only partnered with Jordan Brands, they also partner with myNIL,
What do you think
and
about that?
man, I was reading it and I think it's phenomenal because what it's based on is it's anybody can give a college athlete money. You just have to sign up for the app. Now the way it works, it does tell the institution, but the money goes to it goes some goes to the athlete and some goes to, let me see, it's called myNIL,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows anyone to send a minimum of $20 to college athletes.
So
So
it's a little
it's
different than
pretty,
the
it's pretty.
other. It's a little different than the other NIL websites out there, because usually those are for brands to reach out to athletes. Correct? Is that how that
Yeah.
typically works? Those are
Yes.
brands to athletes. You get
Yes.
sponsorship, and it doesn't matter how small. I think that's the amazing thing
Mm-hmm.
with NIL. It doesn't matter, man. You could be Bojangles or a mom and pop shop. You can now sponsor an athlete, because on a local level, it's very impactful for
Phenomenal.
HBCUs. We're not. I'm not talking about the big top players,
No,
because at the end of
no.
the day, it's not this big. We spoke about it earlier. I don't think it's this big equalizer of, oh, we're going to get the top athletes, but
Mm.
it does enrich the student athletes at HBCUs with giving them more ways to make money.
Yes.
Right, more exposure,
Mm-hmm.
more ways to make money. So the myNIL is very interesting. When I was reading it, I'm like, man, is this the
That's when this month.
OnlyFans of NIL? Because it's
Yeah.
like it's like you're letting fans essentially just
Mm-hmm.
give money to
Give
the
money.
student athlete. It's quite different.
Family members can give money.
It
Cousins.
doesn't
We
matter.
can
It don't
give
matter
money.
who. I
It
don't have a
doesn't matter
brand.
who.
I can just now support a student athlete.
Yep.
That's
And
crazy.
it goes to the school is notified, and then a portion
Mhm.
goes to the student athletes athletic department. That's another key factor of building up the facilities. So if you're an alumni and you want to directly impact the athlete in the school,
Mhm.
sign up for
Mhm.
myNIL, man.
Right, because they
That's
have NIL
awesome.
collectives
Mm-hmm.
where a lot of like the boosters for colleges now, they're just dumping money, and
Oh
you've
yeah.
seen it with the it's
At
crazy.
least it's first. Listen, guys, we all know what happened. It's a real thing. Reggie Bush got a house. Blue chips is
Period.
real. I don't care what
Cars,
anybody
all
was
that. I don't
saying.
care.
Colleges were giving athletes cars. I seen it on the local at Bowie State level, and we won a championship. If Bowie State is doing it at major colleges at
I
Alabama,
seen it on He Got Game. Shoot.
yeah, like you can choose. Listen, one of the basketball players, he had a car. So
Yeah.
hey, somebody just gave me a car. This is before NIL. So now they're like, oh, NIL, we'll just dump
Easy.
in
It's
there.
easier to do now. It's easier to
Easier.
do.
This should have been
Period.
good.
And
You
yeah,
know,
because it was already happening and they could not stop it.
yeah. Come on.
Like, you can't
We couldn't
stop
stop
it.
it.
You
Not
know,
stopping it.
you're not
Because
stopping
most
it.
CEOs, to be honest, most CEOs probably went to a college, more boosters, and Nick Saban has a car dealership. Come
Mm-hmm.
on, guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
you
And
give
and
them
Nick Saban said some choice words when the whole,
mm-hmm.
situation with Deion
And
Sanders
oh
getting,
yeah.
Travis Hunter, and they're giving
Mm-hmm.
players $1 million. He was a little salty, right? That
Mm-hmm.
and my thing is, I don't think it was necessarily NIL. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Deion Sanders, right?
Yeah.
We talked about, equalizers are things that will level the playing field, are things that will help HBCUs be able to finally compete on the level of a
Mm-hmm.
PWI. I personally believe that NILs, they're not going to be the big equalizer that people maybe first thought it would be, or even
Yeah.
myself included. I do feel like it still will be impactful as far
Mm-hmm.
as athletes being able to make their own money.
Yeah.
This comes down to strictly marketing. It's
Yeah.
the same thing with now social media. Before, you had to be discovered or to get famous, you had to find, a manager or a talent agent. You had to find a record company if you're trying to be an
Mm-hmm.
artist. Now with social media and different platforms, you can push out your music. You can
Mm-hmm.
brand yourself,
Yes.
and you become, social media famous without the need to, I have to wait for a major TV company or somebody to pick me up. I
Yeah.
think NIL is the same thing. Like, you don't have to,
Mm-hmm.
wait for a big brand. You can kind of market yourself. If you have a good enough social media following, you can get
Mm-hmm.
NIL deals. If you can market yourself even on a community level, go
Mm-hmm.
to these mom and pop shots. Hey, I'm an athlete. I may not be on, all these big time, prime time networks, but I have 1,000 followers. I have 2,000 followers. Hey, give me some money and I'll make a post.
I
X,
make a
Y, Z.
post.
I think that's an equalizer, and that's something, because not every student's going to make it to the league. But if
Mm-mm.
I can make money as a student athlete and now save up for my future, I'm taking it. I'm
It's
taking
a
it. That's
it's a I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but that's a game changer because that point that you just made, So not every student athlete is going to go to the NFL or NBA, but I can only imagine if we had NIL when we were in school. I know some of the athletes definitely would have took advantage of it, and it would have been
Oh,
nice.
for sure.
It would have been
For
nice.
sure.
It's nice.
Look at Raekwon Smith, like the king of NIL. I know you've
Yeah.
heard of Raekwon. This guy
Yeah.
has like almost 100 NIL deals, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like he has a million followers on IG or anything, but he posts constantly. He's like, that was my success. I wrote all these letters. I had
Mm-hmm.
a template I just sent out to all these different brands,
Mm-hmm.
and they hit me back. And that's how he's able to secure as much money as he's made. Like, he's made a lot of money.
And,
Very smart young man.
yeah, and then that's just going to carry over, you know. So
Yeah. So
that's
this is an amazing opportunity for student athletes,
amazing.
an amazing opportunity for them, and utilize that. If you are a HBCU alum, we
Yes.
talk about the impact. Sometimes it's small increments. We
Yeah.
always look like, man, I don't have as much money as, somebody who graduated from Harvard or Yale University to give back to their
Mm-hmm.
college. But what's $20? If I had $20, I'm pushing it
It's $20.
to whatever athlete. And
Yeah.
every small amount matters, because that builds up to a lot. So it's
I,
a very powerful
I hope.
app.
Yeah, man.
I think it's going
It's
to be
through
good.
Howard, right? And I hope they come to Bowie State.
It's Howard, but the guy who created that app, he reached out to other
I
colleges.
hope
So
Bowie State,
it's
because
a
that would be
thing
awesome.
of, I think he's trying to get all colleges on
Mm-hmm.
his app and just make it a portal, because it's more so the idea of you being able to donate
Mm-hmm.
small amounts to a specific
Yeah,
athlete
I would donate
of
right
your
to my
choice.
I got like 5 young frat brothers. If they
Hmm.
were, if, listen, if they had my NIL, I would donate.
Yeah.
Put the money in their pockets, man. I know how it
Make
is.
sure that they're not just eating the cat food. Make sure if
Yeah,
they want to, they can eat off campus. Anything. What they might
any
need, books, pencil. They might, like, whatever they need to use that money for. That
whatever.
is a great initiative. If your school, basically, now I feel like with something like that, if your school doesn't have it, it's going to be left behind.
Yeah.
Because now students are going to want that. Hey, what's the advantage? I know I might not make it to the league, but what do you have set up or in place here to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that I can have a comfortable life
Yeah.
as I'm playing and getting this school notoriety? Because
Yes.
ESPN now, they've signed on for 90 HBCU games to be televised in this
Mm-hmm.
2023 season. Now
Yeah.
you have, what is it, HBCU Go, where you
Yep.
can watch all these college football games at HBCUs. So we're the viewership and the exposure has gone up now.
Yes. And I can't wait, because like I said, I'm going to the game today.
Oh yeah.
And
Then you got the homecoming on October 7th.
the homecoming October 7th. Might try to go to some other
I'm going to
homecoming.
Texas Southern University's homecoming on the 30th.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's
going
nice.
down. My old ass gonna be out there.
I think next year I'm gonna try to. My goal. I told my friend, he was like, "How many homecomings you gonna hit?" I was like, "My goal is to hit every HBCU homecoming."
You
That's
can't
my
hit
goal.
everyone.
I'm gonna hit every one.
Not in a year. You can't hit
No,
everyone in the
not in a
same
year. It's just
year.
gonna be
Oh,
over a year.
okay, just eventually. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be
Eventually.
there with you. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
there with
You're
you.
gonna be right there.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get all sweatshirts and stuff
We're
from
gonna
the
go on the
school.
HBCU homecoming tour.
We will.
That'll
We
start.
will.
That'll start soon and very
That's
soon.
gonna start soon. I can't wait, man. Just hit them all up. You
I
know.
want to see you doing. I want to see you doing some stepping or something. If I'm gonna come out, you better be doing something with the Qs. Get your old
Probably.
ass out there. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you some juice. I'm gonna get you something to sip on. See what come out.
I
once
probably.
once JT get nice, have a little drinky drink.
Man, I get nice. I just be chilling. Listen, man. Listen, I have. We call it hopping, right? So I used to hop all the time, right, when I'm younger. But some of my older frat brothers have had injuries.
See,
They've
oh
had
my
injuries.
god,
My
what?
man, shout out to my man Tank, and I can say this because it's recorded. But he went to Morgan State. He was at a basketball game, man. He tore his Achilles. This was years ago, though. He's better now, but yeah, it's on video. I was like, "Is that Tank?" I was like, "Oh." He
tore
was
his
good though, but
Achilles.
he was blown. Yeah, he was
Cause
blown.
y'all not stretching. Y'all not active
And then
like y'all
my
used to.
my
When you trying to
my
hop
friend I'm
all
about to
crazy,
my friend I'm about to go pick up now, Jamal, messed his hamstring up.
damn. To y'all not stretching for real. Y'all not. Oops. Y'all not
No, because
stretching
it's
for
in the
real, bro.
moment. You gotta stretch when you hop. It's in the moment.
Y'all tripping. Well, don't do that if y'all not hopping and work, going to the gym or doing none of that stuff. Y'all tripping.
Last time you see me hop was at me and Faith's wedding.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
That was dope. I like that though. That was dope.
yeah.
Yeah, just
But
don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. I don't
if
know
I
what
do go, I
type of
will.
health
I'll
care
be
you
out
got.
there.
Just chill out. Cause I'll be damned if you tear your Achilles around me.
Yo, that I'm not gonna lie. So many people I know that my coworker, he was over 40 playing basketball. Boom, tore it.
That's
I
how it
was
happens. Cause you
I was
think you're
at
young
work.
again.
I was at work a month ago. I seen it was another department supervisor. I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, "Hey, what's up, James?" Because you know, COVID, you don't really see each other.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "What happened?" He was on the cart. He's like, "Playing basketball, man. Tore my Achilles." I was like, "Dang, you're the second person." You get over a certain age. He's like, "Yeah, I was out there, heard pop." That's what they all say. So you hear a
Be
pop,
the
and then
same
you
ones
can't.
calling these athletes bums and stuff, and
He
you
said,
can't
"You
even
heard
play
a
a
pop."
pickup game.
So you heard a pop, and he's like, "When you hear the pop, it's
Yeah,
like
it's a wrap.
it's a wrap. You can't
It's a wrap.
move it, nothing."
Ah,
It feels like jelly.
yeah.
I
No,
was like,
thank you.
dang.
No,
He was like,
thank
that
you. No,
joint.
thank
I was
you.
like, did it hurt? He was like,
Of
you don't
course.
feel it in the
You
moment,
don't
but
feel
then
it.
after that, it's like when it happens, you don't feel it, and then after that, it just hits you. Like,
Oh,
yeah. He
I'm
was like,
about
I
to
don't know
stretch
how
after
COVID
we
did that
stop
joint.
this recording. I'm about to stretch because I don't have
Yeah,
time. I can't deal. And you know, I'll be boxing training. I ain't never
yeah,
had no
yeah. That joint is crazy. So
mm.
yeah, I guess it is. It is about stretching. And it's so funny because when I'm going starting my workouts again, I always on my off days I always do. Uh, I like Sean T's workout. He has this workout called T25 stretch, which is kind of like an intense yoga stretch,
Mm. I
where it's
like
like
that.
it's a lot of yoga poses and a lot of
That's what I
lunges.
need to get. I need to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
more
that's what.
yoga stuff
Yeah,
because I gotta be able to avoid injury. So everybody out there going to these homecomings, you over 35, you in your 40s, 50s, make sure y'all stretch. Please. No injuries this homecoming. Y'all gonna start hopping and strolling. Make sure y'all are stretched up. Put on some Bengay, BioFreeze, whatever you gotta do. We're not young
stretch.
anymore. Stretch, man. Damn. Damn.
All right, guys. So, we're gonna be back next week, and we'll probably talk about. It's always something happening, man. So,
That's what I
definitely see
love.
y'all next week, and we are out of here, man. Once again, follow us on all the platforms. The links always in the description. And share the video, man, if you like it,
Yeah.
man. I just said we just got on TikTok, so
Mm-hmm.
all right, follow us,
And we'll be
guys.
back here with another one.
All
Until
right,
next time.
man. Peace.
Peace.